Hello, race fans, and welcome to Off Camper TV's coverage of the ISDC Formula World Series here, Season 4, live on YouTube and live on iRacing.com/live. Tonight, we are here in Iowa at the Iowa Speedway for the running of the American Ethanol 143 laps around this 0.88-mile oval tucked out in the middle of a cornfield somewhere, because they like to theme things around corn. I am Weston Mess. Joining me in the booth tonight is Dylan Eckert. How you doing tonight, bud?
Hello, Wes. Hello, race fans. I hope you all are excited here. Tonight's going to be one crazy exciting night. Before tonight, the Indy Light Series was here, and that was just one crazy, outstanding race. So tonight's going to be another crazy, and I can't wait to see what these drivers do by the end.
Yeah, Travis Bennett ended up winning the Indy Lights race early tonight. Cody Winsen right now maintaining the points lead. Will Roberts led the most laps tonight, and Tim Sullivan got the pole for that race earlier tonight. But right now we're closing down on the practice session here. We got Kyten Bommersbach out front with a 16.701. Phil Clark at number 25, right behind him with a 7.11. And speaking of Travis Bennett as well, the 95 car, due to an incident that happened last week at Brands Hatch. We'll get to more on that later. But Bennett, no matter where he starts, he is going to receive an EOL for a racing incident last week at Brands Hatch, which was actually a pretty decent race for a road course.
Yeah, last week was one interesting race. Stephen Larkamp and Tim Selman kind of walk away the field, and then tire wear, and just they got the mind out of the game a little bit, and you just show how easy they can mess up in these Indy cars and walk away with a new winner.
Yeah, Ryan Kish able to take away the win at Brands Hatch last week. This is his first full season in the Formula World Series and his first win as well. Kish at number 23, having kind of a slow effort today. I'd say slow, but he's only about a 10th off of the top spot on the practice board, but he's rolling back there in 13th right now.
And our points leader is Johnny Eckert right now. He's sitting in P11 with 16.823. But I seen Eckert pull out a few backup cars during this practice session. They have 1 hour practice to kind of tune in their cars and kind of learn what the tires are going to do. And he's been over the wall a few times. So I wonder if this is if Johnny's going to have a hard time and we're going to have a new points leader.
I think he was just testing flight patterns. Yeah, right now, Johnny Eckert is your points leader. He's total 92 points on the season, 1 win with top fives and 2 top 10s. Steven Larkamp behind him by 17 points, scoring 75 in the first 2 races of the season. Ryan Kish with that win last week brought him up 9 positions in the point standings, up to 3rd. Tim Silliman is in 4th, and Danny Roberts, your top 5 in the points early off in the season. Still got 10 races, including tonight's race, to get through. So a lot can change throughout the course of this season.
Most definitely. It's still so much points can still be thrown around, but right now I talked to Johnny before we went into tonight's race, coming out of that Indy Light during our little transition period, and his main goal is just keep that points lead. You know, try to, if he can come out with a good finish, then he'll be happy. But if he comes out and still in that top 5 by the end of the season, he'll be even happier.
And speaking of Eckert, he ended up sweeping Thursday night. They, like I said, I believe on our last broadcast here on Off Camber, y'all run pretty much every day of the week. And Thursday night they ran the trucks here at Iowa, and they ran Rockingham in their Grand National Series, and Johnny Eckert swept both of those races last Thursday night. So kudos for him. See if he can keep that momentum going in to Iowa here as we are starting our qualifying session. And we're going to get underway here, following around the 00 of Alex Buffley, going out in that target 00 right now. He's had a pretty interesting season so far.
Yeah, Alex is a Yankee who is had a hard break during that Indy Light race earlier today, but he's actually hasn't had all that bad of a season so far. And yet we're saying that as it's week 3, but his last 2 haven't all that bad.
Yeah, he's so far he's finished 14th in the opening race at Motegi, and he finished 10th last week at Brands Hatch. And of course, we weren't running the Grand Prix circuit; we were running the Indy circuit for that. We're going to look to see who can score the all-important 3 bonus points for winning this pole here tonight. So far, it looks like the 00 has got it. They only got 2 laps for qualifying.
As Steven Larkamp in that number 62 machine is still sitting on pit lane, trying to maybe waiting for that track to heat up a little bit with the that new dynamic track model. You wonder if he's maybe found a little secret about it.
Yeah, iRacing's done a ton of updates here recently, so it's going to be interesting to see if that dynamic track model actually works out here. See if we can get a high lane and a low lane working. I know with the stock cars here, 1 and 2 is basically you want to run middle lane, but 3 and 4 you have the option of running the top or running the bottom. Of course, the bottom in the beginning of the run, and then pretty much you have to move to the top towards the end of it. Adam Hill, the 87, just finished in his qualifying effort, going to put him 10th on the board with 16.985. Actually move him back to 11th as Tim Silliman at 39 up to P2 for his qualifying effort. Got Will Roberts on his flying lap right now, and that number 7 coming out of turn number 4, hitting the line. Brought him up to an 8.82, going to put him into P5 right now.
As only driver that has not made a lap yet is Steven Larkamp, John Ailes, and Kyton Mausbach.
Still waiting on these guys to get out there. They got about just over 2 minutes to do so. Larkamp, of course, dominating last week at Brands Hatch, and he's starting to roll now. That's 62 out onto the track for the Gap Sim Racing team. Going on board with the 62 Honda right now. as he's trying to get that thing up to speed. Going to start his first lap here.
It looks like he's having some internet issues here.
Looks like a couple of people are. John Ailes received throughput right there and reconnected into the session. Here comes the 62 to complete his first lap at 17.492. That's a pretty slow out lap. Getting on the apron a little bit there. Pushed up wide. Not going to be a good second lap for that 62. Let's see if he can get it back together. Off the turn 4 and to the stripe. Getting as far down as he possibly can. 8.95 for the 62. Going to put him into P8. And Bommersbach was running at the same time, still having internet issues. So I would not suggest the cameraman to go to him. But he's up in the P8 with an 8.86. Should be seeing John Ailes right now on board with the Twisted Tea number 14 as he's completed his first lap. This is his flying lap here. And these guys are running pretty quick. You know, the stock cars in Iowa, I know in the Xfinity cars, you're running 23, 24 second laps. We're down here running 17 and under, and Ailes is going to bring up the rear there, 17th with a 17.084. Pretty much everybody is done with qualifying, and we got 20 seconds until we get into the race session.
It looks like John Ailes just went around and called it, as he will be the last driver on going on, and he'll be doing a 17.084. So from our pole sitter of Alex down to John, it's only about 0.207 difference in speed. So
Yeah.
it's they are super tight. This is gonna be one crazy pack race.
Yeah, and congratulations to the 00 of Alex Buffley. Going to take away the 3 bonus points for winning a pole here tonight in the American Ethanol 200. We're going to go through your starting grid. Of course, your pole sitter, the 00, Alex Buffley. Eric Davison, at number 65, going to start to his outside in P2. Tim Silliman at number 39. Watch out for him. He's bad fast pretty much everywhere we've been so far. Rolling off in third. Travis Bennett qualified in 4th, but will be taking an EOL here at the beginning of the race due to a penalty from last race. Cody Winsen going to roll off in position number 5. Will Roberts in 6th. 7th goes to Phil Clarkin at number 25. Kyton Bommersbach in 8th. Stephen Larkamp 9th. And rounding out the top 10, going to be the 18 of Matthew Talbert. John Martin in 11th. Ryan Kish in 12th. Taylor Drago in 13th. Ryan Martin 14th. Adam Hill 15th. Johnny Eckert, our points leader, all the way back in 16th. And John Ailes going to round out the field in 17th.
I'm very surprised seeing how Johnny Eckert round and qualified. I'm surprised he qualified so far back in the pack with that lap time.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Don't know what's happening with Eckert there. I mean, he's started the top 10 both races and has finished 1st and 2nd. So not a great effort out of that number 90. The Hill Motorsports entry. I believe the 87, Adam Hill, is his. No, Robert Hill is his owner. We don't see Robert out here tonight. Also, Eckert is leading the Rookie of the Year standings over Eric Jeffers, who missed the last race and is going to miss tonight. But a little bit of news before we get going to green, because I think we have 2 laps for pace here. We should have started our mile. So coming on board as the title sponsor of the series, I'm going to highlight that number 39, Tim Silliman, and that Rigshare LLC. I believe that's a Honda this year. Might be a Chevrolet. I'm trying to look. That would be a Toyota. Never mind. I'm wrong in 3 different directions.
Someone that's also not here who did not enter this race is Danny Roberts, who is
That's right.
in the point standing. So Roberts is going to get a good hit in the points, and he's definitely going to drop down at least a few spots in the points. So this is going to be interesting how the points are going to play out for him later on throughout the season.
I believe he did say that he was going to miss this race. So I'm not sure about drop weeks. There might be 1 or 2 intertwined, but it's only 12 races. I would hope not. But of course, we're going to have the all elusive start here. Alex Buffley going to have to back off the pace car just a little bit because, as you know, we get fake greens here. So Buffley's just going to have to lay off a little bit. And we normally go right around turn 3 on these ovals. So the pace car is about to make his way down to the pit lane here, getting ready to start this race. And there he goes, hitting the pit lane. Alex Buffley got the green flag, and we are underway here.
Out. Man, look at Cody down there in that number. I believe that look is the number 67. Drops all the way down to last place. So P5 down to last behind Titan Bouncebach.
Here we go. Battle for the lead. Got Eric Davis in the 65, almost underneath the 00. As they're heading off into turn number 1, he's got the wing there. Drag racing down the backstretch, already fighting on lap 2. Not much of a fight, as it looks like Eric Davis is going to get a bonus point. Oh! 00, almost in the wall.
Right behind them, that's for P6.
And there was a little bit of an issue there between the 65 and 00. 65 thought he was completely clear, but 00 was still there just a little bit. I don't believe that 00 has got any damage or not. But yeah, there's action all over the place.
That battle for the lead is gonna get hotter and hotter. Falling back through the field, going to P number 7, and that's even Larkin, as he's holding a little battle off behind him between Ryan Kish and Phil, and that is Tyler Drago, as they're kind of battling for that P number 7 spot.
They're ways away back from the leader already. I mean, we're only 5 laps completed, working on completing the 6th lap. And a lot of single file back here. A lot of drafting going to start happening. But battle for third, as it looks like Bennett almost got into the side of Silliman right there. Travis Bennett, that 95. Not sure if he was supposed to take the penalty, but I believe if I read the Brands Hatch report right, he should have been starting in the back, not Winsen, unless they made a typo in the report. But Will Roberts up to P4, looking to take P3. All the way up into the rear wing of that 39 as the leaders are pulling away. And a car behind him in the wall, I believe that was Matthew Talbert. Very slow in that 18.
Yeah, Matthew is definitely has a little bit of right front wing damage. Not a lot, but just enough where it will slow him down. And as you can see, Steven Larkamp in the number 62 going to try to make that pass on him. As it doesn't look like Steven can get there, but they made the setup so that you can't run that very bottom lane. As you can see right there, Matthew tries to run it, and Steven's back on his bumper. The setup, they said that they built this setup for that middle groove only, middle to high groove. So seeing how Matthew kind of got that issue, you wonder if he hit a bump and may damage the underbody of the car.
Very well indeed, as Larkamp does take over that 6th position. Talbert under fire from Ryan Kish, and Kish is going to take the spot, but 18 is going to try to cross over. Talbert has 2 cars to his outside right now, as he's still trying to run that bottom lane. Got a little loose on the apron, and the 2 of Taylor Drago is going to get around him, as well as the 14 of John Ailes.
Looking back up front here, I'm watching this battle for P3, only getting more and more tense between Tim Silman and Will Roberts there. As Will goes out inside, doing that diving in, getting that 3rd P3 spot, but Tim's right back on him. as this battle's only going to keep getting better and better when Travis Bennett and that number 95 is kind of joining the battle.
Okay, and for some reason, Cody Winson has retired from the race, so he started and parked this race. Not sure what happened there, but 67 not going to be in contention for the win on this one. And the 7 is just pulling away from the 39 right now. Will Roberts has got a rocket underneath him right now, as the 39 is falling back up front. 0065. Eric Davis still out front here, completing lap 16 of the scheduled 143 laps on tonight. And Roberts, he's got something going on here. Something's a little fishy. I'm going to go on board with the 7, Will Roberts, and see what he is doing different to help him close in the gap to the leaders and pull away from 4th place. I mean, he's just made up another 10th on that last lap. Looking pretty stout, keeping those tires underneath the hash mark and bringing it out to the wall real nice, keeping it off the wall about 2 or 3 feet, diving it into turn 1. And when I say something's fishy, folks, I'm just kidding. He about hit the wall right there, though.
Yeah, that was tight.
Alex Buffley, all of a sudden, dropping back, lost about 0.6 of a second since the last time that we saw him. But here comes Will Roberts, catching a little bit of that draft. Because once you get into about 6 to 7 tenths on these cars, you start to suck up to the car in front of you. And once you get to pretty much their bumper, you start getting aero tight. And that's going to be another condition for these guys as they are jockeying for position back and forth all throughout this field. Come back here. John Martin, almost 12 seconds, over 12 seconds back from the lead. Just got overtaken by Ryan Martin. Johnny Eckert up to 12th right now. And you got, let's see, Talbert and Ailes just done battle. And they got past there. Trying to look for something a little bit closer. Here we go. Looks like the 95 of Travis Bennett passing the 87 Adam Hill, who is now a lap down in the 16th position.
It looks like I got an incident report. What happened to that number 67 of Cody Wenz? It looked like he had some netcode issue with him and another driver ending his night. But we can go out and grab a hold of him out of the infield care center and talk to him if we can get to his motor coach here.
I don't know, it's possible.
as we got into the motor coach here, Cody, what's going on, buddy? What happened to you?
About lap 5 there, I got into it with, I think it was John Martin. I'm not completely sure. We were coming up off turn 4. I had dropped to the back, so I was faster than the cars that were back there. I was just trying to avoid any wrecks that happened in the pack. But he was slower, so I went high out of turn 4. He left me the room, and it's probably the biggest netcode contact I've ever seen on iRacing. There was a room for a full car in between us, and it sent me up into the wall and just knocked everything out of alignment. We can't get it fixed tonight.
Well, that is most definitely unfortunate, especially being so early on in this race. Now, your car's completely done. I see your team pushing it onto the hauler, getting ready to go. So how do you think this is going to outcome you throughout the points, as you're not going to come home with those last place points?
Well, we came into the season looking to be a strong contender for the championship. I think we could have been up there with Steven and Tim and all that. This is the first season I'm really going to have a shot, because it's the first season I'm really going to be having a chance to race every week. I've missed a few weeks in season 2 and I think 3, and then I didn't race at all in season 1. But week 1 we got taken out. Week 2, Travis wasn't smart coming back on the racetrack. He didn't take me on purpose, and then tonight netcode. So first 3 weeks, crap taking us out. I don't think we have any shot at the championship anymore, which really sucks, because we come to these tracks with really strong cars and haven't been able to show anything.
Well, I like thank you for letting me come into your mobile home. It's a very nice mobile home here, but hopefully you come back next week and go around and get that better cleanup and get that motivation for your team for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
All right, and battle for third while we were interviewing there. Not a battle anymore. Will Roberts got around the 00. That number 7 is on a tear here tonight. He's got his sights set on the leaders. And Eric Davis is getting roped in.
Yeah, Will is one of the fastest drivers on track right now. He's just a 16.799. So he is definitely packing speed in that race car, really showing the drivers what he can do. But he's definitely keep an eye on him as he's left Tim Stillman, who's probably one of the fastest road oval drivers, and as he's now sitting in P2 in the draft of the leader.
Yeah, doing pretty good right now. Do have a couple of pit stops that did happen there. The 24s came in and out. John Martin is sitting on pit road right now, as well as Kyten Bommersbach. I believe Bommersbach is back out onto the racing surface, and so is the 12. They are both 4 laps down here. Very early on in the race. We're almost to 100 to go. So we want to give a big shout out to Jeff Newport, who is our in-race steward. Thanks to him for live admitting this race, and taking the time out of his schedule to do so. As the leaders are now starting to dice their way through lap traffic, just putting the 12 another lap down, and got to have a big move here. Yeah, Eric Davis shucking and jiving right there.
Your lap traffic can be your friend or it can be your foe, depending on how you hit it. That's not your friend right there. That is scary right there. With that being done, that just put Will on his bumper, as they're only about point as he's going down pit road.
Yeah, pit lane is about to be a busy place. You got the 14 in front of them, the 2 on pit lane as well as another driver. I believe Davis just about bit the farm right there. As here comes Will Roberts is going to come to pit lane as well this time by, as well as Tim Silliman and Travis Bennett. So green flag stops.
No.
Almost done.
Oh no, Will Silliman. Oh no.
Will Roberts around on pit road.
Almost got contact with Tim Silliman, trying to spin that car back around.
That is not what that number 7 wanted to do there. Will Roberts for 703 Racing. Not exactly the best entrance into pit road there, sir. I must say.
Pit road is so hard to get onto. You know, you're going about 107, 180, 200 around the corners. Also, you got to drop down to 40 miles per hour. So it's just a hard pit road to get on, and just so challenging because it's so bumpy. It's not a nice, clean surface. It's a very bumpy, dirty bottom of that track and it's hard to get it down. And you just saw right there, too much wheel spin and too much brake pressure, and it just sends it around. Thankfully, he didn't hit anything, but he dropped a lot of positions right now.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down. He spent an insurmountable time on pit road right there. I was noticing Silliman and Bennett out on the backstretch while he was still sitting in the pit stall, and they have just about passed him all the way. Buffalo now right behind that 7 into 00 target machine. Very close as they enter into turn 3, and Bennett right behind that 00 as well.
Yeah, Will had one of the longest pit stops in pit road, and that was a 22-second stop. You know, these Indy cars, you usually only do about 8 seconds, and there must have been some damage that he got, or there was something wrong with that car that he got repaired, but that's not a good pit stop at all for that whole team.
And the 65, Eric Davis, does shuffle back out into the lead. But right now, closest race on the track has had to be between third and fourth right now, with an extra lap down car in the mix there. Will Roberts leading that charge is the lap down car. Alex Buffley trying to get around him and defend that third position away from Travis Bennett. And then 95 tucked in right behind him. And Ryan Kish has joined this battle as well. That's the end of the top 5 right there. And Steven Larkamp is right behind that 23 as well. Still in that draft, still has a chance. But Eric Davis right now, the class of the field, getting around some lap traffic as well.
A look at Johnny Acker. He's a little bit farther back in that little pack, but he's currently the points leader still, as he's back in 7th, as he's qualified last pretty much. He qualified P16 and now he's up to 7th, so he's doing I think did a really good job on that pit stop there, as he's trying to catch the battle.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's got a 12-second gap, over 12 seconds to our leader, which is over half of the track, you got to think, because we're only turning 16, 17-second laps, as our leader is coming up on the 10th and 9th place cars, the 2 and the 25. Taylor Drago trying to get underneath the 25 of Phil Clark. Phil Clark had an excellent practice session, kind of midway in the qualifying session, and still running a pretty decent race, still a top 10, as the number 2 goes a lap down, but this 25 fighting hard on the outside to try and keep the leader at bay. It looks like Eric Davis is going to take that easy peasy lemon squeezy. My producer just got on to me for that one.
With that being said, I'm looking back at P2. Alex Buffley and Tim Silman are going at it back and forth with P3, and with that battle, let Travis Bennett and that 95 join the mix-up.
Yeah, and just for reference, I mean, if Will Roberts can get back on the lead lap, look how far he's pulled away from Silliman. I mean, that's incredible for that car. Just a mistake on pit road, but we do have a 4-way battle for the second spot. Buffley trying to get to the back end of the 39 of Silliman. That rig share machine, the 95 right behind him. Though they keep maintaining the gap. A little bit of accordion effect going on as Buffley pushes it real wide. Scrubs up a lot of speed coming off of the turn. And it's just basically follow the leader right now, and let's click off some laps. I mean, we're pretty soon we're going to be coming up on halfway, completing lap 57 this time by. Our leader will be completing lap 58. And Eric Davis, just a class of the field so far tonight, that number 65.
Yeah, he went out and did all that. I was kind of surprised when we looked at his practice time. His practice time was 17. He was put 17th on the board for practice, and then qualifying, he just made a beautiful lap, and he just able to keep it there. He's doing one amazing show for all the fans right now. As I think all the fans and more watching Will Roberts in that number 7 try to battle his way back to the lead lap the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to have to do that, and hope that there's a caution that comes out so he can come back around and get back onto the lead lap, because he's definitely got one of the fastest cars here today. Still trying to catch Davis right now, but Roberts, he's definitely got a good piece underneath him today, as the second place battle is catching up on a bunch of lap down traffic. And Tim Silliman right now at 39, still trying to run the bottom of the racetrack. This is about to get real antsy right here. 00 to the inside as well. They have a good run coming off of the turn, almost into the back of the 39 on the backstretch. Got to manage this lap traffic, fellas. Oh no! Oh, no. 00's around. Alex Buffley wrecks. Caution on Speedway. Got into it with lap traffic there and just completely destroyed that 00, I believe the car on the outside was Adam Hill, and the 00 got aero tight and pushed up into that 87. Tough break for Alex there, as he's on the pit lane right now. And
Oh, boy, that's
again, another tough break for the 7 of Will Roberts as well. Almost got there to try and get that lap back to Harway, but our first caution comes out at lap number 63 on the night. Any takers on pit lane? Looks like everybody on the lead lap is going to come down this time. Now, it has been just about 20 laps since our leaders came in. It looks like they could run about between 40 and 44 laps on the set of tires. And I believe the 7 is going to get the lucky dog. He is waved around the pace car. Phil Clark and Taylor Drago, though, they are going to have to decide whether or not it is worth it to stay out here, collect the wave around, and get back onto the lead lap. Eric Davis does win the race off the pit road.
because you have Ryan Martin and that 24 and Adam Hill, who both have damage on that right side wing. So you wonder if they're going to come down pit lane too, because everyone right now is in front of that main pack, so they'll all get a lap back. But do you stay out to get that lap, or do you come down? As it looks like Phil Clark and Tyler Drago are going to stay out.
Yeah, everybody multiple laps down came in that time. Gonna be an interesting thing to see at the 25 and 2 and maintain for another 20 laps on those heat cycle tires, as they're cooling off right now, and hope they don't have any kind of damage to those cars as well. Eric Davis right now still your leader. Tim Silliman in second, Travis Bennett in third, Stephen Larkamp fourth, and Ryan Kish, your top 5 right now, as I believe Will Roberts completing his service, coming back out onto the track. He will be the last car on the lead lap until Phil Clark and Taylor can get around there in the looks to be the 8th position. Oh, and the 2 comes in to come in and get tires. So the 25 is going to be the only one to take this strategy. Phil Clark feeling froggy.
See, this is an interesting strategy call, because if I was the crew chief, and I know if I was lapped down, I would have kept my driver out there. Tyler Drago is a very fast driver, fast racer in general, so I'm surprised to see that strategy call. Another strategy call that I'm very surprised about is how Johnny Eckert in that number 90 car is already up into P6. We questioned his method in qualifying. He qualified 16th. He's now in 6th. And he's working his way up and up to the field. So this is going to be interesting, watching Johnny try to go through the field now.
And he does have all of his championship competition immediately in front of him with Larkamp and Kish. The first 2 cars in front of him. But of course, we got the single file restarts, IndyCar style. We should have had the lights come off of the pace car this time around. 25 is going to wave around. And of course, when we come back to the green flag, they are not going green. They are going to wait until the backstretch, preferably turn 3, before we drop the hammer and get back to green flag racing. So that's going to be completing the 70th lap and just about halfway.
As right now I'm listening to race directors explain to the leaders how the restart zone starts, because they do off the IRL IndyCar series restarts. So some drivers don't understand that, because in iRacing it's only the one restart method in all series. across the board between dirt, oval, and road. And so there's a whole new complication, a whole new idea of restarting. And a lot of the drivers don't completely understand that method. So right now, they went over during drivers meeting, but they're making sure that he knows what to do now.
Yeah, we're going to bring it around town at about 55 mile an hour. And going to get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Only 9 cars on a lead lap. First car, 1 lap down is number 2 up Taylor Drago. And Phil Clark, your last car on the lead lap in 9th.
So I'm gonna watch throughout this whole stint as Will Roberts in that row 7. I want to see how fast he can get up to that front. Currently behind a little bit of slower traffic, but interesting. As it looks like we are gonna go green. Never. Caution.
Yeah, race control has thrown the caution. I don't know what that was for. I believe we had a little miscommunication with the leader. Doesn't look like the pace car came out that time. Or did he?
He did.
Okay, it does look like the pace car came out, so don't know. Okay, well, we're still trying to get a little explanation for the leader. I don't believe Eric Davis has even ran a race this season. So this might be his first race with the organization. I am not sure, but gonna go back green this time by. I want to tell you we are off next week as well on Off Camber TV on Monday, September the 18th. For they're running qualifications for the September 25th 4th annual ISDC Stock Car Manager Indianapolis 500, 125 laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And real quick, before we get back to green flag, we're going to run a quick commercial. So y'all hang tight. All right, and welcome back to Off Camber TV's coverage of the ISDC Formula World Series. While we're sitting here waiting to go back to green flag conditions, we want to give a quick shout out to, well, not really a shout out, we want to bring attention to victims of Hurricane Harvey and the victims of Hurricane Irma over the past 2 weeks. Irma being the more recent one, just hit. I know we have a couple of friends here at OCTV that were down there in Florida when this all hit. Pretty sure a lot of people had some friends all over the place in Florida when this thing hit. It's still hitting the U.S. though, but it's a lot weaker and better outlook for the rest of that hurricane's lifespan, and hopefully we don't have any other ones hit us anytime here soon. So I want to say we're thinking about all of the victims affected by the 2 hurricanes here in recent weeks, and also everybody in America at least knows what today is. Today is September the 11th of 2017, 16 years ago. This morning, the U.S. suffered one of its greatest tragedies in its entire existence. The World Trade Center buildings were struck by airplanes on September 11th, pretty much at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know I was and the Pentagon got hit as well, and the flight that went down in Pennsylvania. I know I was in the 5th grade when that happened, and they all pulled us into a classroom, and we literally watched everything unfold.
Mhm.
It was a tough thing to watch, and even 16 years later, we're still remembering the victims, those in the buildings and on the plane, and all the other victims affected by the tragedy. So, join us in a moment of silence for the remembrance of the victims of 1911 or 9/11, excuse me. All right, well, let's get back to racing here. The pace car is going to come off. Of course, we're going to have a fake green flag, and going to come back around. And I believe the leader knows what to do this time. Going to go back to green flag racing, completing lap 76, starting on lap 77, over halfway this time by.
Around, and during that time, I went out and ran to the race director and said, "What's going on? What was that caution for?" And it was just the field wasn't stacked up the correct way, and the race director did not like how the leader wasn't handling the start. So they went out and sent a pace truck out there pretty much to show him where the zones were. And now it looks like he's going to go green flag right now.
Yeah, a little bit of a stutter there from Davis. Don't know if he spun the tires a little bit, but that's going to give Travis Bennett an advantage as they're coming off turn 4 to take the green flag once again. Bennett trying to get underneath Silliman right there. Going to take the high side to work it and drive it down off of the banking, real close to the back end of that 39 car.
Travis is definitely pushing it to the limit right now. With that being done, Steven Larkamp in the 62, he had a terrible restart as he's a good second back as he's trying to catch up to this main little pack here. But more as Travis goes around and he rides on Tim, Tim's going to get a lot of the aerodynamic issues. And as you can see right there, as they just kind of faded away a little bit. Right now, Travis is just pretty much leaving Tim as they are going around and making lap number 80 out of 143.
Yeah, Eric Davis not pulling away like he was at the beginning of the race. Silliman's still in that draft, but Silliman's definitely taking a different line than that 65. 39's more or less diamonding the turn and coming off a little bit higher than the 65 is. Here comes Travis Bennett, going to get a little bit of arrow push into turn number 2. See the 39 jumping up a lane towards the end of turn number 2. Comes all the way to the bottom and a little lower exit for that 39. But here comes that 95. Travis Bennett looking to take over position number 2. Steven Larkamp enjoying this battle as he's got front row seats sitting back here in 4th. To the outside. Ooh, a little bit of denial there. Here goes Bennett with a move.
As the lap down car.
Oh, no, that lap car.
As that lap down car just ruined Travis's run that he just had, as he is now fell back one position and now behind Steven Larkamp. As
Will Roberts
in the wall. Oh, no.
Oh, he takes out the 18, I believe. Caution not thrown yet. Caution on the Speedway. Will Roberts, one of the fastest cars out here, just completely drives it into the turn 4 wall and comes down and takes out Matthew Talbert. It looks like he tried to avoid the 90 and smacked the wall. And
man, that's not
big
good
impact
for that team. Oh,
the 18 of Matthew Talbert as well. He's already on pit lane. He lost his front wing on that one.
wow. look at Will as he's crab walking back, as he has a lot of, it looks like that right rear tire is actually not even making full on contact. That
Yeah,
car, that car is done for the night, unfortunately. But man, that is disappointing.
going on board with Talbot as he's coming up on this incident. Will Roberts going to pull into the pits here. But man, oh man, I mean, it was nothing the 18 could do. He was just along for the ride. I mean, if he would have jerked it down to the yeah, if he would have jerked it down here to the grass, he might have he probably would have been off a lot worse than what he was getting careened by the 7. But unfortunately, that's 2 other lead lap cars that are pretty much going to be out of the race here. And a little bit of controversy there as the lucky dog on the pace lap took the inside, and 39 almost ran into him. So pretty sure race control is going to get on that. And I mean, that's only going to leave us about 8 cars left on the lead lap with just under about 60 to go. So right now, looking at the championship standings, pretty much the 2 guys that are going to make a real good jump, a real good gain on Eckert right now is the guys sitting there in P2 and P3, Tim Silliman and Steven Larkamp. Steven, of course, the closest gap, or the closest to our points leader right now, with only 17 points separating those 2. If he finishes where he is right now, he would score 35 points. Eckert in 7th would only score 24. So that's an 11-point advantage that he can gain. And that's if he doesn't come out and lead a lap either. Eric Davis pretty much going to solidify leading the most laps here tonight, making a good effort in his first points night. And Tim Silliman going to score 40 on Eckert. And Silliman's 29 back, so that'd be a good points night for him as well.
Right, right now, both those drivers are going to have a really good night, especially if Johnny Eckert doesn't move anymore. Ryan Kish is going to gain more points. Tim Stillman, Steven Larkamp, they'll all gain more points to catch up to Johnny. But this race is still very young. We are about to hit that halfway point. We already hit the halfway point, so we definitely are, I wouldn't say out of it. And Johnny is a kind of a, he sits back, he relaxes, he kind of enjoys what goes on, and then when he knows he has to go, he's gonna go. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with Johnny. As right now he's sitting at P7, maybe thinking, talking to his crew chief right now under this yellow, and saying, "No, is it go time yet?" And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Johnny come up to the field with less than 40 laps to go.
Well, yeah, we're going to see him on pit road right now, hitting the pits. Going to go ahead and take some tires. Now, if they pit right now, they can make it on one more stop. So, I actually, well, yeah, they're only running 40 laps green. So, there's no way anybody can make it from here. This guy's just trying to get a little bit of an advantage on the front runners here, because I don't believe they pit last time. And look at the 2, though. 2, Taylor Drago up into the 5th position, right behind Kish and Bennett. Unfortunate on that last run there. Didn't see the lap car and fell all the way back into P6.
Yeah, Travis says he's got to really work his way up. You know, everyone knows he has a speed. It's just going to be, he needs to get up there as a pace car is down, as we're going to take that false green flag. As green flag is back out in the air, but it is a false. So that's going to leave the lead pace off to Eric Travis, as he's going to go around and go to the back straightaway and take that green flag.
And we got the lap down cars going to the rear of the field here. John Martin in number 12. Haven't really said much about him all day, but he's still sitting there plucking along back here in the top 10. We're waiting to count down the green here. Eric Davis in that number 65. Getting ready to let her loose. Going all the way from 52 mile an hour up to speed. Green flag back out into the air, and a good start from the 65 to 39. Do have a battle back here. Taylor Drago is getting passed by Travis Bennett for 5th before they even hit the line. So that 95 going to be on a tear as long as he can keep that thing off that apron, because he almost got loose there.
That did not look good. Travis went around and he was very excited to get on that gas pedal once he saw any kind of movement, as he definitely it's going to be interesting as stewards look at that back and see if that was an illegal pass. But if not, Travis definitely got by the best start in the whole group.
Definitely did. Now we're playing follow the leader with the remaining 8 cars on the lead lap. Not much going on for battling. As I say that, here comes Larkamp trying to get it outside of the 39. Going to cut it back down to the bottom of the track. Stephen Larkamp underneath Tim Silliman going to take over that 2nd position. And here comes the 39.
He's going to slide up, put a little bit of block on him.
That was a little too close.
That was a little close.
Now they got to watch out for the 87 Adam Hill here. That lap. Well, that's not Adam Hill. Whoops. Calling out the wrong guy. That's Ryan Martin at number 24. I don't know what's going on there. Larkamp. Oh, he's loose.
Oh!
Tim Silliman almost in it. Ryan Martin, though, a lot of side pod damage on that number 24. He's going to take it to the garage area and I believe park it for the night. But that could have been devastating for that 39 of Tim Silliman. You know he is wearing his brown pants right now.
Man, that was so close to Tim. And I wonder if there was contact that was made way back when and just put the damage on the car. Yeah.
I don't see any damage on that 39 Toyota right now. So, but that 24, he's tore up from the floor up. Does have a new wing on it. And I don't know. He does look like he has a little bit of side pod damage, but not a lot. I don't know what happened there.
Tim definitely does have side pod damage. You look back and there's a little bit of damage, but
yeah,
I'm
leaders.
More curious.
Ooh.
I'm more curious about how Ryan Martin spun it. On the corner exits are common, but corner entry is just odd. A lot of drivers been talking about how since week 13 and the new build came out in iRacing, how these Indy cars have driven very different than they've been used to. But that is just one interesting going event right there.
Yeah, it definitely is. We got 47 laps to go right now. Stephen Larkamp, your leader, as our leaders did come down to pit lane. Eric Davison at 65 going to lead the charge off pit road. Tim Silliman, Ryan Kish, Johnny Eckert. Looks like Phil Clark beat the two of Taylor Drago out of the pit lane. And that is your lead lap cars. Now, Bennett and Larkamp are definitely going to have to come in one more time. I believe the whole field might have to come in one more time, depending on when we get this green flag. So we should be looking for the lights to go off the pace car next time around. Take the green flag at lap 100, which will give us 43 to go. Going to be interesting to see what the 65 can do back here in traffic.
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting seeing how Stephen Larkamp goes around and takes a start. This is Steven's first time this is the first time anyone has been the leader. Eric Travis has been the leader every restart. So this is a turn of events for him, as he's kind of having to play the passenger now on starting this race. And with Travis Bennett up in P2, this is going to be one interesting race with those two are up there in 1-2 who don't have tires and didn't refuel. And then you have everyone else behind them with brand new tires and fuel. So this is definitely going to be one interesting if those two can hold them off.
Yeah, that 95, Travis Bennett, I want to give a shout out to him and his sponsors real quick. Jay Howard's Motorsports Driver Development for the Pilot Performance Group, owner of the team and the Hondas. And Laura Camp, of course, with the Gap Sim Racing team, the owner of that as well in the Hondas. And then you go to the 65, who's also in a Honda. But Eric Davis is a solo operation, as far as I can tell. He has no team, no owner. I mean, somebody's got to own the car. He owns the car, but you know, you got that going for him. And then Tim Silliman out here for Third Man Racing, flying those rig share colors for his owner in Bommersbach. And then Johnny Eckert out here with Hill Motorsports that we mentioned earlier. You got the Lufthansa scheme up there. If you're not a fan of Achievement Hunter or Funhouse or anything Rooster Teeth related, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Yep, lights are off the pace car. Gonna get the green flag, the fake green flag at lap 100. I'm gonna take the field back to racing at lap 101. So we're gonna have 43 laps to go. And somebody's been really silent this race, but up here towards the front, Ryan Kish hasn't really made a lot of moves here. That 23 last week's winner at Brands Hatch is putting together one good points day for himself. And the two guys that have been sitting in the back all day, Adam Hill and John Martin, through attrition, have made their ways into the top 10. So good on them for sticking out here and keeping it on the track for the long haul. As pace car is off, and Larkamp going to take the wrong green flag, and we're going to go back green on the backstretch.
I'm going to be watching on board that 65 to see how he takes this green. This is his first race. He didn't know how to start, as race official had to explain to him on that first caution how to take a start. And now Steven Larkamp, who pretty much who has a great series and great events in this Formula World Series, is now he's a leader. So you're going to wonder if he's going to take some notes down as we get ready to go. Probably the tightest I've seen this pack start all night long.
And down and away, Larkamp gone. Got a good jump on Bennett, but the 65 was ready for it. Eric Davis, not too big of a gap. Looks like they're even across the line here. Green flag back out onto the raceway here for the American Ethanol 200, the ISDC Formula World Series.
As Johnny Eckert is going to go around tagging that battle for P5 for Ryan Kish, as she's on the battle lane trying to make that line pass.
Yeah, on the bottom here, almost into the side pod of the Verizon 23. But they're battling pretty good, as I believe we are getting ready to have a battle for the lead as well here in the next couple of seconds. But still, Eckert is going to tuck in behind Kish. Bennett all over the back bumper of the 62 up here up front, though. Larkamp defending very well as the 65 and Eric Davis catching these guys. Under 40 to go. Larkamp running that middle lane, looking like it's working out for him pretty good. But 65, a little bit on that apron. He's gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, that apron is so scary. That apron can ruin or it could save your night, as that is just one scary place. As he's making it work, but how much of it can you use before it bites you?
Well, see, he is on fresh tires, and these guys are on cycle tires. So maybe that is the difference. He's still trying to get those up to temperature. Can't exactly put the car where he wants to put it. But the 62 and the 95 starting to put a little bit of gap on the 65 here. Getting ready to head up on the lap traffic is Larkamp. I believe that should be the 87 or the 24. They're both black cars, but I can't tell unless I see the side pod.
That is going to be the 87, and Adam Hill going to be going around on the high side, letting the leaders go on that low side.
Leaders get around pretty good. That broke Travis's momentum there. Here comes Eric Davis for second, side by side, coming out of turn number 4. Looks like Bennett is going to have the advantage heading into turn number 1. But Davis fighting on that inside is going to complete the pass coming out of turn number 2. And set his sights on Steven Larkamp for that lead, as Larkamp stretched the lead out to about a second, a little over a second, over second place right now. Larkamp trying to keep that 65 in his rearview mirror, and Bennett's trying to fight back as well, try to retake that second position, as Tim Silliman right now is starting to close the gap a little bit as well.
Yeah, Tim and Ryan Kish are both catching up.
Caution's out.
As Adam Hill is off the pace on the front straightaway.
Well, it looks like just didn't know where to go there to 25. Just basically ran him over. That's another one of our lead lap cars, and Phil Clark. Coming off of turn number 4, the 87 was running in the middle lane, and I believe he gave him a lane high, lane low, and the 25 didn't know which way to go, and don't you know, we spun around.
Yeah, you look back, way back, like a lap and a half back, and you just see as he goes up and down the track, you know, Phil sees that he's going low, so he's going to go high, and just, Phil just had no idea what he was doing.
And this will be the final pit stop on the night. Silliman's going to stay out as well, as it looks like Ryan Kish. Everybody else, though, on the lead lap coming in to take service for the final time tonight, hopefully. Tim Silliman going to get that bonus point for leading that lap. This is the money stop for that 65 as well. Eric Davis lost the lead coming into the pits. He is going to have to get off before the 62 does, and it looks like 62 is going to get him off the pit road. 65 will come off in second, Bennett third, and I believe Johnny Eckert is going to be your fourth place driver off of the pit lane.
But this is definitely going to be one. It's going to be interesting seeing if Ryan Kish and Tim Silliman pit this time. You know, the points do matter, and coming back from last season, the drivers know that. And if Tim and Ryan don't pit, this is they're going to be stretching a tight on fuel. So this is going to be interesting if they're banking on another caution.
Now they did. Yeah, they did come in the last time. I think the main thing that everybody else came in for was tires, besides the 62 and the 95, because they did stay out last time. So I'm pretty sure if they're sitting here saving and dumping the clutch and making sure they're running as long as they can without using any fuel, I'm thinking that they can make it. I mean, you got to think Ryan Kish has pretty much done this strategy every single race so far this season. Motegi had backfired on him. Maybe this time it works out for him. Backfires on Silliman.
Yeah, Ryan, we've seen it last few races now that Ryan Kish can save so much fuel that our calculators don't, they say they would have to come in, and they're still out there making laps, so he can definitely save a lot of fuel. But coming down to 28 laps to go, I don't know if I would do that risky strategy call, not coming down, knowing that if you pitted this time, you would be done. You won't have to come back in, and you stay out, But that's why we're here in the booth, and those people down on those boxes are getting paid the money they get paid, because they definitely make the strategy calls. And this is going to be interesting watching Steven Larkamp, Travis Bennett, Johnny Eckert come up and make it. Because right now it's make it or break it time.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking while you were saying it, I was like, well, most people calculate fuel with pluses and minuses. Ryan Kish does it with cosines and tangents. And that's my one math joke for the year. Thank you. I think they have a good shot at making it, though. Silliman and Kish, they got a good shot. more Kish than Silliman because, see, Silliman's going to be, pardon my French, but breaking the wind out in front here. All Kish has to do is follow in his tire tracks, and he's saving fuel.
Yeah.
Just from aerodynamics and drafting, period. So they're going to have to still race their guts out, defend from the 62 and the 65, as well as the 95. And who knows, maybe Eckert has been holding his hand, before this whole race. I mean, he might have something extra left in the tank as well. Everybody's fully equipped from third on back. So it's all going to come down to, can they aggressively race and save for our top two. Pace car is going to come off of here. Going to get that false green for hopefully the final time tonight. And restart on the backstretch. Going to come to complete lap 118. Going to restart completing 118. As we're still pacing through Iowa turn 1 and turn 2. Again, next week we are off for Off-Camber TV, but we do have the Indianapolis 500, the fourth ever ISDC Stock Car Manager Indianapolis 500 to be precise, on September the 25th, 9 o'clock, only here on OCTV and iRacing Live. Here we go. Silliman is down and away. Green flag back up into the air. Horrible starts for the 23 and the 65.
That is one bad start for that fourth car. As look at that checkup at Johnny Eckert trying to get by both Travis Bennett and Eric Davis. Says right now we can't, but man, that gave a huge gap.
A huge gap between fourth and third right now, as Johnny Eckert has taken that fifth place position over from Travis Bennett. Tim Silliman setting pace right now. Ryan Kish catching up a little bit. And Stephen Larkamp just under a second back. But Eric Davis had the worst possible restart at the worst possible time for him. And Travis Bennett, unfortunately, another victim of some restart tomfoolery, losing a little bit more, losing a couple of positions. Johnny Eckert right now, the big winner out of that one, up to P5 from position number 16. We're going to have a battle for second here brewing. Here goes Larkamp to the inside of Ryan Kish. Going to tuck back in behind him, coming down the backstretch, heading off into turn number 3. Going to back off a little bit, get onto the gas a little earlier and trying to get that drive off of 4. Instead, he just loses a lot of time. Eckert and Bennett about to start doing battle as well. But as Kish and Larkamp are trying to get to one another, they are catching Tim Silliman out front now. Less than 20 to go.
I'm just watching this battle between Travis Bennett. Travis went on. He was the victim of that. He probably the worst part of that whole bad checkup there, as he's getting by Johnny coming back up, trying to get up to P4 back onto Eric, as we have a lap car in the way now.
That 87's out of the way on the high side right now. Eric Davis out of nowhere into the wall. Coming out of 4. Eric Davis, the dominant car on the night, is going to have some side pod damage right there, lose a ton of time. I think that's going to be it for that 65 machine and his chances of winning here tonight.
As he's going down straight down pit road right now.
That's a tough break for Eric Davis right there. Oh, that just hurts.
Man, we saw Will Roberts in that number 7 make contact in the wall. Same exact location, ending his night. And now Davis is getting on pit road. Hopefully they can fix that wing and fix that side pod in a decent amount of time. But we're down to 15 to go, and this is not good for that team.
Yeah, right now Silliman is loving what he's seeing. He's seeing a disappearing second place car in the 23 of Ryan Kish, 62 of Stephen Larkamp in third. Still maintaining that gap to the second place runner, about 0.3 off of his back bumper, and Silliman out front by about a half a second over Kish right now, as Eckert and Bennett are still battling back here for fourth. They're just about about the same gap as the second and third place battle is. But time is running out for these guys to catch that 39 to Tim Silliman. And, you know, Silliman's been was out front in Motegi for a while. Inherited the lead last week after Larkamp spun. And then he ended up spinning himself. So Silliman looking for his first win on the evening, on the season. Ryan Kish looking to go back-to-back in second. The only other thing Silliman's got to worry about is if his fuel tank runs dry. And here comes Larkamp under fire here for third. Johnny Eckert, got to watch out for the lap car.
Ooh, that's tight. The hardest thing is those lap cars, they drive the same line as your normal racers. And so sometimes it's just so hard to get that momentum, and you don't want, once you get that run, you don't want to throw it away. As right there, you saw how tight Johnny will make that pass as he's down below Steven Larkamp. Can't make that pass, but he's definitely there trying to get that P3 position.
Yeah, he's trying that low side here. Coming off of turn number 2, going to tuck back in behind that 62 of Larkamp. That battle for the lead is heating up as well. But right now, Eckert, he's got a nose there. He's going to go to the inside lane here. That number 90 trying to get around to 62. Top 2 in points, battling out on the track. 90's pushing up way tight. Here comes Travis Bennett on the outside of the number 90. Bennett making it stick. Going to take over P4.
As Johnny's now just dropping back, doesn't have the draft as he did, and now he's just hoping that Travis will slow down Steven as they go side by side now.
And coming to the line next time around, we got 5 laps to go. Here comes Bennett, though. Bennett looking to take over third place. Not going to be able to make the pass work there, coming out of 3. They are catching back up to second place. Ryan Kish. Bennett lost a lot of time out of 4 right there. Got a little loose. Here comes the 90 back to the inside. Oh, really close out of 2.
Ooh.
They almost touch.
The hardest thing is that they're so hard to make it work the way they want to. They want to go out and make it pass, and it's just so hard to do that. You get the aerodynamics of the car, and they just don't like being that close to each other.
That they don't. Got to watch coming out of turn 4 right now as these tires are getting a lot looser. 3 laps to go. Can Kish get there? Bennett tried to dive underneath that 62, lost a ton of time. Eckert is probably going to get to his back bumper. Actually, Eckert was not close enough to do so. Here we go, coming to 2 to go for Tim Silliman. Can he hold off the hard-charging Ryan Kish right now? Got lap cars in the way as well. The 87 out of the racing groove. Here comes Ryan Kish, but here comes Tim Silliman working his way off a turn number 4 for the white flag. Kish really loose. Can Silliman, does he have enough fuel in the tank? Making his way through 3 and 4 for the final time, still under power. Here comes Larkamp behind him, but Tim Silliman's going to win here in Iowa. Larkamp in P2.
Wow, that's amazing. Ryan Kish has said that he was running it dry. The fuel tank was sputtering as Steven came around and did that battle, and Steven just got that better run off the corner. Steven just really showed the proof of what you can do when you get that perfect slingshot move.
And Tim Silliman burning it down on the front stretch here. The number 39 rig share. I believe he's Toyota, isn't it? I'm going to get it right one time. Yeah, Toyota. He's going to park that thing in victory lane here tonight as the fireworks going off in the background for him. And, I mean, he saved enough fuel to even do a burnout. So he did pretty good in my book.
Yeah, he did a great job saving fuel. Just slammed the wall there, maybe knocking a little bit of changing the body shape, but
yeah, that ain't gonna pass, Tech.
Nope. as we're gonna go out and we're gonna pull Tim Stillman up. Here's I already see
Yeah,
you
we're
are
gonna.
already running to him. So we'll run down your results here. As we do that, I'll go around and let you, Wes, run down to Tim in victory lane.
All right, we're gonna congratulate Tim here in a second. But he's your winner here tonight at number 39. Stephen Larkamp, hard fought battle for position number 2. Got around Ryan Kish, who finished in 3rd. Travis Bennett, 4th. And Johnny Eckert, our points leader, going to round out your top 5. Phil Clark has a incredible bounce back race. Going to finish in P6. And Taylor Drago going to be your last car on the lead lap in position number 7. Adam Hill in 8th. 6 laps down, as well as John Martin in the number 9 position and rounding out your top 10. Heartbreaker for the 65 of Eric Davis. He's definitely going to get your most laps led here tonight award. Will Roberts going to come home in 11th. Matthew Talbert in 12th. Ryan Martin 13th. Alex Buffley in 14th. John Ailes 15th. Kaiton Bommersbach in 16th. And Cody Winsen starting park and going to finish, or he didn't start in park, but very, very early on incident. Going to come home in the 17th position. So let's see. Let's get Kish in here first and see what we got going on with him. Ryan Kish, you got us?
Yeah, I do.
Man, you stayed out there with Silliman there at the end. How were you running out there coming towards the checkered flag?
No, I just ran into a little bit of trouble with one of the lap cars going into turn 1 and 2 on the final lap, and or somewhere like turn 3 or 4 on the second to final lap. Just kind of lost some speed and tried to make the car as wide as I could, but fortunately Steven got by me. We had about Tim and I had about 3 laps of fuel left. Kind of gambled on fuel strategy to try and get some track position. We knew how tough it is to make passes here, so little fuel strategy this time. It paid out instead of what happened at Motegi.
Yeah, definitely. Because we made sure we mentioned that on the broadcast. But yeah, good 3rd place finish for you guys and at the number 23 camp. Especially coming off a win last week at Brands Hatch. Tell us how the rest of your race went, man.
To be honest with you, it was pretty quiet. Just kind of spent most of the race trying to work out different lines and whether or not to be shifting down in the turns or staying in 5th or going down to 4th or full throttle or lifting. Just trying to learn as much as I could for the end of the run. Wasn't really focused on racing anybody too hard, so it was a pretty quiet race. Just Tim and I were just sort of discussing really the whole race about how to be there at the end, what strategy we needed to use, whether or not we wanted cautions, and just kind of kept the car going around and kept it alive for the end.
And it definitely worked out for you. A big improvement on your qualifying effort there, up 9 spots. Do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors or anything like that?
I guess the only sponsor I could think of would be Rig Share. I know they sponsor Tim on his car, but they also sponsor us, myself, Tim, and Kite Bommersbach in the DGFX Endurance Series. We're HPD AM team, so they sponsor us there end tier for ISDC. So I guess Rig Share, Tim Silliman, Jeff Newport, Chiton, who had some internet issues and couldn't finish out the race, but my teammates plus those guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell them boys over there, Rig Share, to try to up Chiton's internet a little bit, huh?
Yeah, that would be good.
All right. Well, that was Ryan Kish, your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Congratulations on a good run. We're going to go ahead and get you out of here and try to find our way to Larkamp. Stephen Larkamp, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, 10-4, man. Well, that was a great battle at the end between you and Ryan Kish there for position number 2. Tell us what happened there his last couple of laps.
I'll be brutally honest there. I didn't think I was going to get by Kish at the end of that race, especially after that last that final caution came out, and I assumed that everyone was it was reasonable to assume that everyone would be good on fuel at that point because everyone else had stopped just before the window. So I was really but really, I was looking behind me most of the time. I was worried mostly about Johnny Eckert, and it may be early in the season to think about it, but I was kind of thinking about points in the back of my head. I'm like, I don't want to let Johnny by because I could possibly take the points lead. But a couple of laps to go, I'm I managed to break away from them. Him and Travis, I think, started battling it out, and I was right up on Ryan. I didn't think I was going to get it, but I'm guessing Ryan worked his tires a bit hard there, and he went a bit low in 3. I got the run going into the corner, was able to hold it around the outside and just get that slingshot. And I was able to, and it really can happen here. I mean, it's not common to see that on short tracks, but it's definitely possible, and I guess that shows. Yeah, P2, I can certainly take it, especially starting mid pack.
Yeah, and especially after what happened to you last week, man, because that was gut wrenching.
I'm still kicking myself for that.
Well, I mean, you put together a great race there at the end. I mean, especially you and Travis Bennett racing together. That was some of the tightest racing on the track at most points of any time in a run. You know, so I mean, good run on that. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to and some sponsors, I think?
Well, everybody at Gap SRT, Cody Wenzen again had a. I can't describe how terrible luck he's had so far at the start of the season. It really is a shame, but next race is the Indy 500, and he's going in there as the defending race winner. So I guess that's pretty good motivation for him. But everybody else back on the Gap SRT team, we're all pretty excited for the season going forward, and we definitely want to get back in the winner's circle again and maybe win a 4th championship in the process. So I'm really pulling for these guys. And also everyone at ISDC. I think I could definitely say that this league is really starting to gain traction, really starting to gain attention. I'm really liking what I'm seeing in terms of participation and the racing that we're getting. And tonight was a really good example of that, I think.
And 10-4, couldn't have said it better myself. And good luck in 2 weeks at Indy. I know I'll be checking in, from time to time on Carb Day next week. But yeah, definitely, congratulations tonight, and we wish you luck in the Indy 500 in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks. It should be a good one.
All right. Well, that was second place finisher Stephen Larkamp. We're gonna try and see if we can't find the man of the hour. Tim Silliman, you got a copy, bud?
I got you.
All right. Rick Share number 39, sitting in victory lane right now. Tell me how you feel about that.
Ecstatic. I didn't actually think I was going to get that win with Eric being up front, but I was playing strategy with my teammate Ryan in the down our channel. We were seeing what we can do, and it seemed to work out in the end.
Yeah, it sure did. Now, how close were y'all again? I believe Kish said y'all were like 3 laps.
Yeah, about 2 to 3 laps to the good on that one.
Well, good to see it actually work out there. I mean, you had a pretty decent race. I mean, you sat up there top 3 all night. Eric Davis definitely had the car to beat, and unfortunately got mired back in traffic, and his night ended pretty badly for him. But you took it and you capitalized on it and produced your first win on the season. So definitely congratulations to you on that. Tell us what you were thinking there midway through the race, especially off that first long green flag run that we had. Did you think that you had anything for that 65 at that point?
Well, from staying behind watching him, it seemed like he knew something that I didn't. But in doing so, if we went green the entire way, I would have been a lap or 2 pitting after him based on that speed I was doing. So it seemed to be saving me fuel and saving me tires. So it may would have worked out if that's how it went. But I kept my calm and just tried to do opposite of what he did, especially on that last stop.
Well, I can tell you one thing: you definitely gained some valuable points there with that win. Is it too early to say that you're thinking about point racing anymore since you got you a win, or are you still gonna be thinking about trying to get as many points as you possibly can?
It's certainly going to be getting the most amount of points as I can based on who's around me. So, like, if for instance, if Stevens and and the points leader are around me, I got to at least beat them it's not necessarily about winning each week now. It's about beating the people that are in front of me. And if that is trying to win, then it's trying to win, but at least sticking around with them.
All right, 10-4. Before we let you go and get to popping some bubbly, you got any shout outs and thank yous you want to throw out there?
I want to thank the our team owner for Third Man Racing, Caden. I know he couldn't be around. I guess he had some issues. Not sure what was going on, but he had to duck out. Want to thank my sponsor owners, Chris and Rob. They're like a local group of friends here. They own a crypto company. So if anybody has any interest in that, you can go to their Facebook page, which is Rickshare LLC, which you may have seen in the commercial that was displayed. And I want to thank my parents. I know they were upstairs watching. Hopefully, I had it on YouTube. I had it there, and I hope they sat there and stayed there. And I'm just glad that they're safe from the hurricane. I hope everybody's safe, and I hope everybody has a good night.
All right, 10-4, Bub. Congratulations again on your first win of the season here at Iowa. That was Tim Silliman, your race winner here tonight. And pretty much, Dylan, I mean, going into final thoughts here, it's pretty good race, man. What'd you think?
It was a great race. I just couldn't believe how, once again, the fuel strategy game played itself out. We're not going to be here next week, but that week after, on that September 18th, on September 25th, I mean, it's going to be one amazing race. I love when the ISDC boys go out and host the Indy 500 race, and it's going to be one race to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard on OCTV and iRacing.com/live for the ISDC. I just put the schedule away. Hold on, let me get it back out. Piece of paper. Fourth annual ISDC Stock Car Manager Indianapolis 500. It'll be 125 laps. I think it's more like a 500K. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great race tonight, especially there at the battle at the end. Mainly follow the leader at the beginning. Great battle at the end, especially between for second place, and Tim Silliman calls the right strategy there at the end and pulls out the W for that number 39 team. So congratulations to him. Next OCTV broadcast is tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, for the ASRS Sam Maxwell Custom Truck Series race at Chicagoland. That is the cutoff for the playoffs to the chase. And that's going to be one great race. So if you want to tune into that, you can do so as well. That's just going to be on our YouTube page, though, at 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. So for Dylan, Tony, and myself, we are OCTV, and we are out. Thanks for watching.